Hello, Spartans. This is Mr. Miller. We're having a very special episode of Riding with Rob today. Next to me is Miss Bryn Paxton. She is Miss Bixby for this year. She's also a senior at Bixby High School. Bryn, thank you so much for joining me.
Of course.
Very exciting. I love the crown. I asked you a little bit ago if those were real diamonds, and you weren't sure.
I wasn't. I hope so.
That's right. You get to keep that and cash it in at the end.
I do.
suspect.
Yes.
Well, fantastic. So you are a lifetime Bixby Spartan? Is that correct? So where did you go to elementary school?
I went to kindergarten and first grade at North.
Okay.
And then I moved to Northeast for the remainder of my elementary and intermediate.
And middle school,
and
ninth grade, and high school.
Yes.
Who was your favorite teacher in that whole time? You don't have to answer. Or favorite teachers?
Christina Williams.
Christina Williams at what is
At
now East Intermediate, right?
Yes.
Fantastic. And what made her such a special teacher for you?
She was the kindest, sweetest, most genuine person ever. She was my 6th grade teacher, and she called me and FaceTimed me on my senior prom because she wanted to see what I looked like. Yes, so we're still in touch to this day.
Yeah. Well, Miss Williams, that's a pretty great compliment from Miss Bixby. So now you're a senior, and high school goes back really quickly, don't you?
So
it's just so fast. So those middle schoolers out there that think you've got a long,
you blink and then you're graduating.
It is.
It's crazy.
And so let's talk about Miss Bixby. How did this happen? How did you get this sash and this crown? And I'm sure they didn't just hand it to you.
Oh no. So I competed for my first time ever last year as a junior, and I'd never done pageants before, never even thought about doing a pageant. And I don't know how I heard about it. I think I saw something on social media. I was like, that sounds interesting, but I'm terrified. So that's why I did it, because I was scared the entire time, literally the moment I submitted my application till I was done competing. Terrified. But I placed 3rd runner-up last year.
Okay, that's a good start.
Yes, and it was my first time ever, so I was very proud of myself for doing that and doing it afraid and scared anyway. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to come back again this year and I'm going to win it. And I'm going to work as hard as I can and as hard as I have to, and I did.
Wow.
So it's amazing. It was such a blessing.
I bet it was. So in addition to the application, do you have to write essays or something as part of that, or just...
You make a resume,
kind
of like if you're applying for a job. So you have a resume with all of your volunteer work and some of your school stuff, and then you submit a little Google form just about you, and then they select who competes in the pageant from that. And that's pretty much what's required to get into the pageant.
Okay, so now you're in the pageant.
Yes.
Your nerves are ramped up, right?
Yes.
Really. So what's the first part of the pageant? What do you have to get through?
So the first part is your interview, which I believe is 35% of your overall score.
Okay.
So you have a panel of judges in front of you, and it's just you and them alone, no audience or anything, and they just interview you, kind of like what we're doing now, a little bit more serious.
A little bit more intense.
It's very intense, but it's actually my favorite part. So they just ask you questions about you, about yourself, why you want to be Miss Bixby, all of these things. And then after that was in the morning, so then you go home, you get ready, you do your hair, do your makeup, get all fancy, and then you go back, and then the show starts. You have an opening number, and that's not judged, thankfully, because I cannot dance for the life of me.
And that's all of you together?
It's all of us together. So it's kind of fun just to get the crowd going, you know. They put me on the front row. Probably shouldn't have, because I probably messed it up, but it was great. It was so fun. I loved it. So there is that, and then you do your talent. After that, and I did an original monologue called "You Are Enough."
Interesting.
Yes.
Wow.
So I was talking to a mirror, and the message behind it was just telling all the little girls and all the women in the audience that they are enough just as they are, and the labels placed on them by society don't have to define them. And that doesn't have to come from that they are enough just as they are. So that was the message that I wanted to get across, and that I still want to continue to get across as Miss Bixby. It's my main goal, is just to be a role model to all of the little girls in the community of Bixby. But so there was that. And then after that, my next thing was my evening gown. So I do a walk in my evening gown. and then I answer an on-stage question after that. So it's like a continuation of your interview. So it's maybe a question that they didn't get to ask you or something that they want more clarity on. So they ask you that on stage in front of hundreds
everyone.
of people.
And you have like 30 seconds to respond or
You
something
have,
like that?
I think it's around 30 seconds because then they'll take the mic away from you.
No.
But before that, I forgot there's another part that they don't judge. It's your lifestyle and your activewear. So like in a lot of pageants, they do swimsuits, but we don't do that. We just do lifestyle. So like what you want to be when you grow up. So I dressed up as a chiropractor, and I had a huge spine, longer than I was, and then I had a spine bedazzled on my back. So that was another part that wasn't judged.
It sounds pretty creative. And your dad's a chiropractor.
Yes,
That's
he
what told
is.
me.
So I want to grow up to be a chiropractor.
That was nice of you to honor him with that. That's how fantastic. So I love your monologue. I love the message. Obviously, I have 2 daughters and 4 granddaughters so far. And I think empowering young women to have confidence and belief in themselves, that truly the world is wide open.
Yeah.
And some of the opportunities that young ladies have today weren't available to women and girls back when I was growing up. And it is really refreshing to see that our world has kind of matured a little bit and recognize that these are some really talented young people, and we need to let them have the same opportunities to be surgeons or doctors or attorneys or whatever that may be. President someday, maybe.
Exactly.
Maybe that's you.
Maybe.
I don't know. I'd hate to see it go that much longer. But so is that video, is that available, or are you going to perform that monologue, or how do people see that?
Our whole entire pageant is recorded, and it will actually be up on YouTube very soon.
Okay.
Hopefully within the next couple months. Should be up soon.
Yeah, so share that with me, because I'd love to see that monologue myself, and
You
share
want-
that with my daughters and granddaughters.
Yes.
They would love to see it.
Yes.
Next steps. What happens now? Now is it time to get nervous again about the next thing that happens, the next pageant?
So, I don't go on to another pageant from
Oh,
this.
you don't? Okay.
No. So, like maybe if you were Miss Tulsa or Miss Broken Arrow, you would go
I
on to
see.
Miss
Okay.
Oklahoma. But since this isn't a local pageant or a state pageant,
see.
it's solely just to represent the community of
Okay.
Bixby and to give girls like me scholarship opportunities
Sure.
to be able to further their education.
Okay. Do you want to do that? I mean, like college, you want to kind of compete
I think
in
so.
other pageants?
I think so.
You've
Maybe.
been pretty successful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe further down the line. I've definitely thought about it. My wheels are definitely turning.
Fantastic. And where do you hope to go to school?
I'm going to ORU.
Or are you? And you're going to major in
Health and exercise science.
health and exercise to be a chiropractor or something else?
Yes, so I'm majoring in health and exercise science with a focus in pre-sports medicine, and I'm going to get my bachelor's degree in that. And then after I get my bachelor's degree, I'm going to go to Cleveland Chiropractic College in Kansas City to get my doctor of chiropractic degree.
You got it all planned out?
I
Brent?
do. It's a lot of school.
Yeah. And then you'll be 25, 26. Yeah. Well, I love it. And I love how mature you are. I can certainly understand why the committee selected you to represent Bixby. I know you'll do a fantastic job. I've had the great opportunity to meet previous Miss Bixby's, and they've done a fantastic job as well. Just showing our community the type of young ladies and the quality of students that we have here in Bixby. So congratulations to you.
Thank you.
I will be following along. I want to find out more about it. I would certainly want to see. Do you have a final message for our audience here before we sign out?
Final message to our audience.
Anything you want to say?
Anything. Well, especially to all of the young girls watching this, know that I was in your shoes. I was growing up. I was going through all the motions, going to school, stressed out about where I'm going to go to college or what I'm going to wear, who I'm going to be. So my message to everybody out there is that, like I said earlier, you are enough. And if you set the standards for your life and if you hold your life at a higher standard, you give no opening doors. You give no options for anybody else to come and define you because you are enough. So yeah.
Fantastic message. I can't add anything to that. So you can sign us off. Thank you, Bryn, for joining me today for this episode of Riding with Rob. We'll see everyone next time.